Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like.
The rain poured down in sheets, each drop hitting the pavement like a whispered secret, obscuring the truth that lay hidden in the heart of the city. In the dim light of a street lamp, a figure stood alone, the shadows clinging tightly as if they too were bound by secrets. Lucy's heart raced as she stared at the crumpled paper in her hand, the tattered proof of a betrayal that shattered her world. Just weeks ago, everything seemed perfect. A picturesque life painted with laughter, love, and shared dreams. But that was before she discovered his lie. Max, her husband of 5 years, held her heart in his hands. Yet now she felt it being crushed under the weight of his infidelity. He had always spoken of loyalty, of how their bond was unbreakable. Yet here she was, consumed by rage and heartbreak, clutching the evidence of his deceit as if it were a ticking time bomb. The betrayal cut deeper than any knife could, and the city felt suffocating as the realization washed over her. She had been played for a fool. The diner at the corner always had a comforting warmth about it, a sanctuary where they had shared countless meals, laughter, and stolen glances. But now the place had turned into a twisted reminder of betrayal. Lucy forced herself to step inside, the bell above the door chiming a desperate welcome. The smell of coffee and greasy food hit her nostrils, an uncomfortable distraction from her spiraling thoughts. Seated at their usual booth, Lucy's hands trembled. It was as if the world was a movie playing in slow motion where she was the only one aware of the impending chaos. "You promised me forever, Max," she whispered under her breath, fingering the paper. It felt surreal, like a nightmare she couldn't wake from. Images of their life together flooded her mind, those sweet moments now tainted with betrayal. Her breath caught in her throat as she recalled the last argument they had. Max had come home late, an alibi caked in the sweetness of lies. "I was stuck at work, Lucy. You know how demanding my boss is." His voice echoed in her ears, smooth like honey, but beneath there was a bitter undertone that tugged at her gut. In that moment, she realized she had chosen to trust him blindly, hurling aside her instincts in favor of unwavering faith. How naive she had been. Determined to unveil the whole truth, Lucy set a plan into motion. The feeling of betrayal ignited a dark seed within her, an urge for revenge slowly blossoming into clarity. She could either allow this betrayal to define her, or grab the shards of her shattered reality and reclaim her power. The choice weighed heavily on her. She had known Clara, Max's longtime friend, since their college days. Lucy called her that night, opting for casual conversation. "Hey, Clara, are you free to grab coffee? I could really use someone to talk to." It felt deceitful, yet necessary, as she clung to the thin thread of hope that Clara might reveal more than just friendship. The clock on the wall ticked ominously as she awaited Clara's response. "Sure, Lucy. I'd love to catch up. I miss our talks," Clara chirped, oblivious to the storm brewing within Lucy. They set a time, and as Lucy hung up, she felt nausea and excitement battling in her stomach. The revenge she sought was born in the darkest depths of her heart, fed by a betrayal that only one more layer could complete. Days passed in a blur, the weight of impending confrontation hanging around her like a shroud. When the day finally arrived, Lucy's palms were clammy, her heart beating a furious rhythm. Clara's familiar laugh gave her butterflies of nostalgia, and as they ordered coffee, Lucy felt a sliver of hope that perhaps things could return to normal, until Clara's phone buzzed, pulling her attention away. "Sorry, just a second," Clara said, her voice lifting in excitement. Lucy watched as Clara's face lit up, unaware of the darkness lurking behind the facade. The euphoria etched on Clara's face turned Lucy's stomach. She channeled her frustration at the universe for allowing such a betrayal to draw nearer. Whatever joy she saw in Clara was now tainted by the memories of her husband. As Clara stepped away to answer the call, Lucy's mind raced. If only she could trap the truth in a web of unavoidable confrontation. The waitress brought their orders, and Lucy waited, forcing small talk, but inside her heart was a storm raging furiously. How could she allow herself to sink into trivialities while a dagger pierced through her love? Clara returned, her laughter trailing like a siren's call, dulling the mounting tension where Lucy sat sardonic and cold, masked by a thin veneer of pleasantries. "You okay, Lucy? You seem a bit off today," Clara asked, genuine concern etching her brow. Lucy caught Clara's gaze, challenging her to see through the mask. Not that Clara would ever suspect betrayal. "Just tired, I guess. Life's been throwing punches, and I don't think I'm getting up again. Not without a fight." The words slipped from her lips, both a confession and a declaration. Clara nodded, misreading the vulnerability as a fleeting moment of weakness. How wrong she was. Days dissolved into nights, and Lucy plotted her revenge with careful precision. Clara had always supported her and Max, urging them to pursue dreams together, blissfully ignorant of the lies hiding beneath their bright smiles. But she had unwittingly become a pawn in Max's game of deceit. And soon Lucy would make sure Clara understood the danger of betrayal. As she traced the edges of her stolen heart with anguish, the thought of vengeance started to unveil itself as empowerment. Lucy envisioned confrontations, arguments that shattered friendships, a rattling of foundations built on treachery. She envisioned Clara's shocked face as the truth slammed into her. The glimmer of satisfaction at exposing Max's infidelity ignited a flicker of strength within her, the final push toward the consequential climax forming steadily in her mind. One night, driven by desperation and unadulterated rage, Lucy decided to confront Max directly. She had acquired incriminating messages, photographs exchanged in the dark, that burned her heart deeper than any knife could. Her palms were slick with sweat as she approached him, prepared to unleash the truth that could topple empires of trust. As she entered their dimly lit apartment, a chill ran down her spine. Max's murmurs drifted from the other room, an unwelcome sound that curdled her stomach. She placed the crumpled paper on the kitchen table, a reminder of the lies that had spilled over, a damning testament to betrayal. She summoned every ounce of courage and confronted him. "Max, we need to talk." Her voice cut through the air, steel-lined with resolve. Max appeared, shirt slightly askew, a glass of whiskey in hand, the epitome of casual disinterest. "What's up, Lucy? Is everything okay?" His gaze lingered only briefly on the paper, before flickering away, an act of denial far too familiar. "Everything is far from okay. This is proof of your betrayal. I deserve the truth, Max. Who is she?" Each word felt like a lash, slicing through the veneer of their life together. He flinched, the color draining from his face, as he read the truth she had uncovered. The tension in the room ignited like the flame of a torch, illuminating the festering wounds hiding beneath the surface. "Lucy, he started, but the words fell into the chasm between them, swallowed by silence. "You betrayed me with Clara, my best friend." The venom in her voice shattered the illusion of love, leaving only a haunting echo of broken promises. The room stood still, each breath heavier than the last. All that sadness morphed into a brewing storm of revenge and abiding cold realization seeped through Lucy's veins. "This isn't over, Max. Not by a long shot. You'll wish you had never crossed me." The words hung in the air, laden with foreboding. As she turned away from him, leaving behind echoes of their once cherished vows, she felt the scales of revenge begin to tilt in her favor, the undoing of all they had built shattered with the force of her awakening heart. Max's silence validated every suspicion and sowed the seeds of confrontation further into her soul, watering the dark fruit of revenge with her tears. Max had sealed her fate with his betrayal, and she vowed that this would not end quiet. The storm of wrath was far from over as Lucy plotted her path of vengeance, each step calculated like pieces on a chessboard. With the truth in her hands, the first move belonged to her, and she would be merciless. Clara would soon understand the cost of betrayal, and the havoc, whether conceived of loyalty or deceit, would soon reverberate in ways she could never expect. The air was thick with tension as Lucy stepped away from the chaos she had stirred in her apartment. The rain struck the pavement like a heartbeat echoing her own rage-fueled pulse. The secret she had kept for too long screamed for release, now ready to unravel everything in its wake. She couldn't bury the pain any deeper. It demanded action, screamed for her to rise from the ashes of betrayal, and rise she would. She would fashion herself into a weapon, a force that would return the caloric blast of misery she had felt on the day her world shattered. Lucy began her meticulous planning, fueled with unyielding resolve. The following day, she returned to the diner where it all had taken a turn, a sanctuary now sullied by the spectral shadow of deceit. With each step, she felt the chill of revenge slipping into place, carving a path for what was to come. That very afternoon, she called Clara one more time. "Hey, I'd love to get together tonight. Can you meet me? I really need your advice on something big." "Of course. I'll be there," Clara chirped, her voice light and unsuspecting. As they settled into their usual booth, the air between them felt charged, like the calm before a storm. Lucy eyed Clara carefully, remembering the warmth of their bond, now poisoned by her husband's betrayal. "You know, I've been feeling a little off with everything. It would really help to get your perspective on this." Clara flashed a bright, oblivious smile. "I'm here for you, Lucy. You know that." With each passing moment, the anticipation simmered just below the surface of Lucy's carefully crafted facade. As they talked, laughter peppering the conversation, she couldn't help but notice the absence of guilt in Clara's demeanor. It festered inside her, pushing her closer to the brink. In the midst of their banter, she deftly shifted topics, probing her friend. "So, how's everything with Max? You two are great together." The blissful ignorance on Clara's face made Lucy's stomach turn. "Yeah, we're good. Just busy. You know how it is. But we're planning something special soon." The sweet sounds of Clara's laughter now grated against Lucy's nerves. Each giggle echoed louder, drowning out the reality that Clara was playing both sides, her husband's and now hers. If it was time to bring forth the truth, there would be nowhere to hide. "You don't feel that something's off?" Collecting her composure, Lucy pushed forward, Clara's brow furrowed slightly. "What do you mean? Lucy, what is it?" In a moment of clarity, Lucy drew the crumpled paper from her purse, allowing it to unfurl slowly, deliberately. "You need to see this." The moment Clara laid eyes on the evidence, a text exchange laced with desire and deceit, her face pale. Words slipped away as realization began to dawn. "Lucy, Clara stammered, her facade cracking wide open, revealing the selfish deceit that had disguised itself as friendship. "What? You didn't think I could feel your betrayal? This isn't just about Max. It's about our bond. I thought we were friends. But you two..." Lucy's voice crescendoed as her anger erupted from its carefully sealed vault. "You thought you could hide your relationship behind my back, pretending like I wouldn't find out." Clara's hands gripped the table in disbelief. Tears began to spill, both shame and realization, visibly flooding her eyes. "Lucy, I never meant for any of this to happen. I thought it was just a phase." The panic on Clara's face was a mixture of fear and denial. With her heart pounding like the rain slapping the window, Lucy leaned in. "A phase? You were willing to burn everything we had together? You will always remain just a cheap imitation, Clara. A reminder of betrayal that I'll never forget." The finality rang clear. The resolution echoed in the hearts of their friends. The devastating weight of deception crashing against the facade now shattered. Clara's tears rolled freely, the once joyful smile replaced by embarrassment. Her blackmail had betrayed the very soul she had trusted. Max stood paralyzed, bound to his guilt. What remained of the connection cracked under the weight like glass, shattered beyond repair. As she turned, feeling satisfaction mingling with vengeance in a heady rush, Lucy made her final statement before the crowd staring daggers at the one person who had shifted her life. "Keep your distance." "The car keys, Clara? All they are now is a representation of a life I no longer want, a reminder of a heart I thought would never break." Lucy turned back, leaving the fallout behind, the thrill of revenge pouring through her veins, electrifying every nerve as she walked away. The only thing left for Clara and Max were the cinders of a friendship and bond dismantled by lies, allowing the truth to rain down like steel against their heart. And as Lucy walked away under the drumming rain, a chilling realization settled between her bones. She had become the architect of her own power, a force redirected as the fallout pushed her toward the horizon of unrest she had now embraced. The night was dark and rife with the emotional catharsis of revenge long overdue, a final act sealing the fate of a misplaced love. As the lasting echoes faded behind her, a final whisper lingered in the air, cut deep and taut the line that would forever resonate in her memory as a testament of betrayal. You thought the car was a token of love. It's just a mere shell now, love. I'd call it nothing more than trash. And Clara, you can keep the keys. You'll need a ride back to the illusion of that life you thought was forevermore.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like.